A warm good day to all my dear children of class 12th. I'm very happy to interact with all of you after such a long time of social distancing. So let's start our studies with the chapter of biomolecules. It's a combination of biology with chemistry dealing with the stream of biochemistry, which is a need of future generation. Let's get familiar with the term biomolecule. Biomolecules, they are defined as living systems are made up of various complex molecules which interact with each other and constitute the molecular logic of life processes known as biomolecules. So many life processes which we are dealing with in our day-to-day life, it is all taking place because of these biomolecules which are existing in our body. Moving on further in this chapter, we'll be dealing with the various types of biomolecules. Very first is carbohydrate. These carbohydrates are traditionally defined as the hydrates of carbon having general formula CX and the H2O Y number of times. It is in modern times defined with the term OAPAC. OAPAC stands for optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones, or the compounds which produce such units on hydrolysis. So that's shortly known as OAPAC, and it's easy to remember. These carbohydrates can be defined as optically active, which means they turn the plain polarized light, polyhydroxy, which means they have got number of OH groups, and aldehydes and ketones as a functional group. So children, remember this definition from the examination point of view. Very well known example is the fructose, which can be represented as C6 and the H2O unit 6 number of times, which can be formulated as C6H12O6. Moving on further about the carbohydrates, they can be classified on the various ways. The very first basis on the behavior of towards the hydrolysis. On adding of water, they get decomposed to form smaller units. So they can be categorized into 3 groups. Very first is monosaccharide. These monosaccharides are the group of carbohydrates which cannot be further hydrolyzed to give simpler units. Example is glucose and fructose. Whereas oligosaccharides are the group of carbohydrates which yield 2 to 10 monosaccharides on hydrolysis. They can also be categorized and termed as disaccharides if 2 units are produced, trisaccharides if 3 units are produced, and tetrasaccharides, so on. Examples are sucrose and maltose. Then we have third group of polysaccharides. These are the carbohydrates which yield a large number of monosaccharides on hydrolysis. And these are exampled as starch and cellulose, which is mainly present in the cell walls of the plant's cells. So this is one basis of classification. Moving on further, we have another basis of classifying the carbohydrates on the basis of functional group. If a carbohydrate has aldehyde group, it is termed as aldoses. The very familiar example is glucose that you all like, which is instant source of energy, and the other group of carbohydrates which has functional group as ketone, it is termed as ketosis. This is the second basis of classification. Coming on to the third basis, that is on the basis of reducing nature. As you all know, reducing nature means that it chemically combines with certain reagents and get reduced. So if a carbohydrate reacts with Schiff's reagent, Fehling solution and Tollens reagent, then it comes in the category of reducing carbohydrate. But if they are not able to reduce, then they come under the category of non-reducing carbohydrate. Reducing carbohydrates has an example as maltose and fructose, whereas non-reducing is in the form of sucrose. So that's all for today's session, children. In the coming session, we'll be studying more about the glucose, its properties and its structure. And keep visiting our school website of St Arnold's High Secondary School for further updates. Thank you.